I have another Sketches for the 6x6 paper pad. This is sketch number 5. This sketch calls for 19 photos, and I end up getting 15 photos on this layout. These photos are photos that I'm doing for a friend, and this was a Disney cruise that they took. These particular photos were when they were actually at the beach, and I pulled out Simple Story Cruisin, or Let's Cruise, I think is the name of it, Let's Cruise, to use with this layout, and I just love the way that it turned out. Because this is a 6x6 class, there are 6x6 pieces of paper in the center of the layout, and I really liked that boat, but I felt like it was too big for the 6x6. I did cut off quite a bit, and so I am going to change that out. I do go ahead and use the red with the white polka dots, and then that navy with the white anchors. And I also decided that in some of the spaces, because I just didn't have enough photos, I went ahead and put this 3x4 card that I cut down to 3x3 that says Soak Up the Sun. So what I'm going to end up doing is taking that 6x6 piece of paper out that had the big boat, because I found a 4x6 card that had the boat. It was a lot smaller scale, and it had the word Cruisin, so I'm going to use that as part of my title. I did also use this anchor as one of my pieces, and because I couldn't get the anchor down to a 3x3 size, because I would have cut out parts of the anchor, what I decided to do was use a smaller piece there of a 2x3 instead of another 3x3 photo. And I think it turns out perfectly fine. I'm going to use the navy paper with a bunch of different words on it, but actually most of those words end up getting covered up anyways. To make up for the 2x6 piece that is not there from that 4x6 card, I went ahead and cut this wood grain that has the stars on it, and then I end up changing it up a little bit, just simply because I wanted to separate that 2x6 and the 4x6, and I still wanted to have a little bit of paper on the left hand side as well as the right hand side, so that anchor paper is going to be on both sides of the layout. I accidentally cut down one of my photos 1/4 of an inch too small, so I went ahead and cut a 1/4 of an inch off the other side, and then just matted that photo on the navy paper as well, so that I could still use it. I was zoom cropping with some friends, and so at one point I showed them the size of this paper. It wasn't a 12x12. It was a good, like, almost 1/2 of an inch. So instead of cutting down my photos, what I just went ahead and did was matted the photos all the way across and then put washi tape on the back so that it would have a stability as if it was the rest of the paper. I am really enjoying this 6x6 class. I think that it has had a ton of different inspirations that I can do every month, and I seem to be doing okay. This one with the 19 photos actually scared me a little bit, but once I found the photos to go with it, I didn't have any problem at all. Of course, because this is an Allison Davis sketch, she likes to do a lot of stitching on her layout, so I did go ahead and put some stitching on mine. I did not go around all of the sides of the paper. In the sketch, it calls for it to go almost like a border around the 3 6x6 pieces of paper. I just did it on the red polka dot, the wood grain, and the navy with the anchor. I didn't even go into the 4x6 where it says Cruisin, because I didn't like that the stitching would go over the sun and the clouds there. So the 3 photos on the inside, I did cut them a little bit differently than what the sketch called for. I cut them down to 4x4, and I went ahead and mounted one on some navy paper, and then I mounted the other 2 on white, just simply because it was on the navy paper and I didn't want it to get lost. So I do want to encourage you guys, if you are looking for a new sketch book, to go check this one out. I will link it below for you. Like I said, it's an amazing sketchbook. I love any sketches from Scrapbook Generations. I feel like they just have so many to offer, and this is probably one of the best 6x6 classes that I've taken with them. You can no longer join the Facebook group, so you won't get inspiration from other people, but it's still a really good sketchbook, and it's a really good price point for a sketchbook. Once I got all of the photos down, as well as all of the 6x6 pieces of paper, and then also the cards that I decided to add, then I'm going to start with my embellishments. And when I'm doing my embellishments, I always like to start with the largest piece. So you can see there that I have the black and wood grain right above that photo on the right that says you, me, and the sea. And that is what started my cluster there. And then I need the vitamin C, which is in between the two photos on the left. That's what started my cluster there. So I always like to start with a larger piece and then move into smaller items to add to the clusters. I am looking through the sticker sheets. I also have the pack of stickers that have 2x2 cards on it, as well as some word phrases and things like that. And then I also have the ephemera pack as well. And so that's where that star came from. I am going to leave that star blank so that my friend can add some journaling to it if she chooses to. But I think that it would look perfectly fine even if she didn't add anything at all to it. You'll notice that on the right hand side of the layout, like I said before, that paper really gets covered up quite a bit. I go ahead and put a whale on there, and then a circle sticker with a starfish in the center, and then also a crab. And then I'm going to finish that up with a word phrase sticker that says paradise, and then a couple enamel dots. Over on the left hand side where it says I need the vitamin C, I just went ahead and added another star with a word sticker that says love this, and then a couple enamel dots there. And then the last cluster that I'm going to use with the you, me, and the sea, I just go ahead and add a compass and a little tiny bird. I do pop him up so that he's almost like he's sitting on that 2x2 square, and then some enamel shapes there. I think that with the amount of photos that were on here, I didn't feel like I needed to get a whole lot more because I think the photos really are the showcase. So my title is going to be Cruisin' Beach Day. I went back and forth on that title quite a bit, but I think that it works because they are on a cruise. It is a beach day for cruise. All right, everyone, here is my final layout as well as some close-ups. If you enjoyed this video, if you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up, I'd really appreciate it. If you want to see more double page layout inspiration, make sure you hit that subscribe button because that's all you're going to get on my channel. Thanks everyone for watching, and I hope that you have a scrappy day.